Good day, folks. I'm out in Coral Springs at the North Community Park. They have some really nice facilities out here. You got a couple of soccer fields with turf grass, really nice. They also have 4 baseball or softball fields, one that's a really large one and then 3 smaller ones. It also has 3 basketball courts, and I'll show you what they look like. Here's one of the large soccer fields. I'm in a gazebo out in the outer skirts of it, and there's another soccer field. A lot of people out here enjoying a late Sunday afternoon, cool, maybe 72 degrees, and you can see it's a really nice place. They also have some tennis courts and lots of walking trails. Where I'm at in Coral Springs, it's right on the edge of Sawgrass Expressway, and that would be over in this area. And you may be able to see cars going by on the expressway. It's kind of lifted up over the higher than the fields out here and stuff, but as you proceed underneath the expressway, you leave Coral Springs and you enter Parkland city limits. And right under the underpass, as soon as you go under the underpass, you come into Parkland. I guess the underpass separates Parkland and Coral Springs. On the left, as soon as you get there, is Marjory Stoneman High School, and maybe you may know that better by the Parkland High School, where they had the shooting in 2018 on February the 14th, where 17 people were killed by Nikolas Cruz that came into the school. And I'm going to make a journey around the school and tell you a little bit more about what's going on. The reason I'm talking about this today is it's been about a month ago, on October the 15th, over 3.5 years later, they finally got the guilty plea into court, and Nikolas Cruz pleaded guilty. I think he wanted to do it from the very beginning, and so I'll talk a little bit more about that as we make our journey around from where the school is, and kind of show you, best I can tell from everything I've researched, what happened, where it happened, and where he was headed to after that, whenever he was finally captured by the police. I'm headed out of the community park area, and headed underneath the bridge, coming towards the school area. So I'm gonna ease over here and just give you a little shot of the school. This is Marjory Stoneman Douglas School, and this is the east entrance, I guess, where Nikolas Cruz was dropped off by Uber. I'm not sure of how many details you know. A lot of the details I didn't know until I started doing a lot of research. But you can see the name of the school there on the top of that tall building. It says he entered a hallway that was kind of enclosed in a 3-story building at the school. And it looks like to me that may be it, because it's the only 3-story building I can find on the property. And there's a lot of fences all the way around the whole school now. Doesn't look like it was there originally, just because of some of the construction and stuff. So that's where he was dropped off at. And I'm going to make a journey around the school and talk a little bit about what I see as you come down the the school to the corner. It comes all the way to the corner here where the stoplight is on Holmberg Road. And it heads down. I think you can see the little corner spot there. It's the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. It's got the mascot. Can't remember what the mascot's type of mascot it was. But I'm gonna make a turn here, and you can see on the fence line all of the different sponsors they have. I guess for their school. It's usually tied into the sports thing, but as you come down, this is the they said he came down and he ended up at a Subway, got him a drink, maybe something else. But what's interesting is the sidewalk all the way down here. He couldn't have went any other way whenever he left, because it's like a moat all the way around the school the other way and the expressway, and there's no way to walk from there back towards. This is the only way he could have went. And as you can see right now, I'm going by West Glades Middle School, so he had to come right by here. Of course, at the time they didn't know that he had already gotten rid of his backpack and stuff, I guess, at the school. And so he walked right by the middle school here, and if he hadn't got rid of his backpack, then I guess he could have wreaked some havoc down here as well. But it's as you can see, it's a little bit of a journey to get down to the area where the Walmart is. I think I'm pretty much right at where the Walmart is. I'm going to turn right here, see if we can spot out the Subway that he went to and stopped at. He had left the school and went out of the school with students. I guess that's why he dropped his backpack, so he could make his getaway. And let's see if, like I say, the Subway's supposed to be right on the corner of where the Walmart is here. Yeah, I think I see the one it is. So maybe he came through the bank parking lot right here just beside of it, but looks like he came over here, and there's the Subway. Stopped in that area, and let me just. This is the back side of the parking lot of the Walmart. I'm showing you probably the area where he entered the parking lot, probably to get off of the sidewalk and the highway over there pretty quick, and came along here to the side of the Walmart and walked down here. I'm sure to stay out of the line of sight of the police that was already looking for him. So this is pickup area. I'm not sure how much of that they had back in 2018. A lot of that has happened, since the pandemic stuff happened. And they've added all this pickup stuff to Walmart where you can order and pick up. But this is a possible path that he took around to the Subway. This is coming around the corner from the side of the store. This will be the first entrance to the Walmart. The Subway's actually inside. So he would have come in one of these entrances here after you enter. I'm not going to go into the Walmart and into the Subway because this is I've already been in there, and I spoke to a teammate that works there. I'm not going to mention the guy's name that I talked to. He's a younger gentleman. He was not working here at the time, of course, but he knew all about it. It's still being talked about today. And he remembers the time. He's actually underage now. He was about 13 at the time, of course, 13 or 14. And he said that, yeah, it definitely was this store that he came into. He said, but he didn't know anybody that was working here at the time. It's kind of like a story that gets passed along or whatever. But I asked him about how things were and what he knew about it back then. And he was actually out of school that day, which he didn't go to Marjory Stoneman at the time. He actually lives across the expressway in Coral Springs, so he would have been in school somewhere else, but he was out of school that day from being sick. And they actually got a call from their school telling them they had locked down all the schools and everything and had something going on. And of course they pretty quickly got the TV on at his house, and they figured out what had happened and what was going on. So they he said that, I asked him, I said, well, you know, what were you thinking, how did it feel and stuff like that? He said it was just surreal, you know, knowing something like that could happen, especially when they found out and started talking about how many people, you know, had lost their lives there and how many had been hurt, you know, at the school and been shot or whatever. And then pretty quickly that, you know, the subject had already been apprehended. I'm going to make a little journey down the street because where they got him at, finally picked him up, was at the McDonald's back across the expressway. Of course, it's a couple blocks down and just down the road a piece from where the subway is. So he had another little journey. There was a pretty good walk from the high school, you know, where everything happened at, down to this subway here. And then, of course, when you leave here, it's I'm going to be going back in that direction, get back on the road and kind of go from there on where it finally ended up at. I'm headed back down the road in front of the Walmart. Can't remember exactly what the name of it is. I thought I might see a sign here. This is Coral Ridge Drive. And like I say, it goes back under the underpass for the expressway. The expressway is, I think it's 75 maybe, that heads north to Orlando and then south back to Weston. And there should be a McDonald's up here on the left, where he finally, I guess he had to walk under the underpass here to get up to down this road and then up to the McDonald's. Let's see if I can spot it out. I'm sure it might be over here somewhere. Yep, this is it. There is no sign from the road. Looks like they might have some construction. Actually, there's no lights on the sign that's on the front of the building either. Yep, they're remodeling the inside. Evidently, it's just a drive-through service for now. But this looks like the one. I can't go in and talk to anybody. So anyway, he had quite a journey to get to where he was going before they finally picked him up. And if you're aware of any of the statements made by any of the police officers that apprehended him, the policeman that saw him and recognized his description was kind of stunned when he saw him. And if you have seen any pictures of Nikolas Cruz, you might understand why. It's just a slim, slight small framed, slim guy. And the policeman in his statement said that when he saw the guy, he was like, to be sure, is this the guy that I'm supposed to be getting? But anyway, he went and apprehended him and didn't have any kind of problems. He just, kind of surrendered and went right along with him. So anyway, that's the journey that he made. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the rest of the story, of course. So I told you in the beginning when I started that he had just on October the 15th they had finally got around to getting it in court, and he made his guilty plea. And in his statement, he said that, of course he was sorry, and he wished it hadn't happened. He don't know why he did it. And of course he had other questions, the normal questions that you get asked whenever you're going to enter a guilty plea. You have to cop to the charges and all that stuff. But one of the things he told the families that were there, of course they were upset and everything, was that he wanted his fate to be in their hands. And in the beginning, whenever it first happened, one of the prosecutors, which he was a elderly gentleman, he was the chief prosecutor in the county, and he wanted to take the case on himself, so he appointed himself as the chief prosecutor. And I think at the time he was already like 76 years old or whatever. But they tried to enter a plea in the beginning, accepting the responsibility for it, but he wouldn't accept that. They were trying to, of course, get him life in prison without parole and just take the death penalty off the table. But the prosecutor wouldn't go along with that. So it got strung out for 3.5 years up until October the 15th, whenever the case finally came back up in court, where they arranged for him to plead guilty. And of course, like I said, I guess he was hoping personally that the families might take leniency on him or something like that. But the law, I guess it might be in the state of Florida, is that even with a guilty plea, if there's no deal been made, then there has to be a penalty jury assigned and chosen to decide what his penalty is. And that's supposed to happen in January of 2022. So the prosecution and the defense team will have to get together just like a normal case, and they'll probably go through thousands of jurors until they find a jury that they can both decide on to decide the fate of Nikolas Cruz, and try to get this tragedy to a close. And also it's nothing for the families. They did I guess it was all the families that were injured and of the victims that actually lost their lives. So that would be like a total of 34 people, 17 that were killed. I think it was 14 students, 3 staff that were killed, and then 17 others that were injured. They accepted a settlement right before October the 15th, I think just a few days before, from Broward County for $25 million. And I guess that's to be split up between the 34 families. So I don't know if it's split up evenly or whatever. There wasn't any details about how it would be done, except for the fact that it was $25 million. So, it could be somewhere around, $750,000 per family that lost a loved one. But like I say, that's no consolation, doesn't bring back your loved ones. But since I was down here and the case on October the 15th that just happened. I didn't actually see it on the news or anything anywhere. I just kind of saw it in a side headline somewhere in a bottom of a news feed or whatever. But I don't recall seeing anything, which I don't watch any of the mainstream news anyway. So I might have just missed it. Y'all may have seen it or whatever, that this had happened. But I just wanted to get that out there, and since I was here, I wanted to kind of make the journey just to see how all it went down, and how he actually snuck away with some of the students that were fleeing. And like I say, kind of caught me off guard that when he did flee and came down to the subway, that it was a long walk. It must be a good mile for sure, and he had to go right by I think the name of it was West Glades Middle School. That's right down. It's actually I think the next property over across I call it the moat, because it's a real wide body of water. I'm sure it's artificial, that they dug around the backside of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, and then it goes down between the high school and the expressway, and there's no egress for him to make it down to the Subway or the Walmart on that side, so he had to walk down the sidewalk on the north side of the school, down that road by the middle school, and to get to because that's kind of the back of the middle school. Actually, I guess you go into a driveway and it takes you around towards the freeway, and then this actual front of the school must be on the other side, because it's kind of grown up on the back side and it's kind of marshy and stuff like that. There is one entrance on the back side. We can enter from that side, but it's just a narrow sidewalk that goes into a big door there at the back. But maybe there wouldn't have been good means of egress or escape from there. But of course, luckily enough, he had already ditched his stuff at the high school, left his weapon there, and whatever other ammunition, or if he had other weapons with him, he left that at the high school so he could make his escape with the rest of the students. Most of them probably didn't even see him and know that it was him that was doing the shooting, so he was able just to walk out with them in the end there. But they had enough people that knew him and saw him and stuff like that they were able to give the description. So they had all the police from different departments, and I just found out by talking to the guy at the Subway that Parkland actually doesn't have their own police department. They're covered by the Broward County police, which I guess would be like a sheriff's department or whatever, being a county department or whatever. But so they would have had to brought those people in to be on the lookout, and I'm sure many other departments came to the rescue from across the freeway and helped out. But anyway, just wanted to get that out there, and hopefully that brings a little information, maybe some things that you didn't know. There were some things I didn't know, and coming out and going around the property sure brings a lot of things to light. Anyway, appreciate you watching. Subscribe to my channel if you will, and follow me on all my social media. I'm on all the social medias at Kick 'Em All Out, so you can find me at just about all the social media sites that there are out there, and I try to post these things to all of them at about the same time. So we're getting a pretty big following. I appreciate all the support, and share this with your friends. Let's get it out there far and wide, just so people know what's going on there, and that this thing here is finally coming to a close. I'm sure the community won't never forget it. It's something that kind of sticks with you and makes you think about things. It's a shame that they've had to put fences all up around the school and all, but to keep the kids safe, do whatever's got to be done. Have a great day. Love all of you, and we'll be talking with you later.